So I'm sharing today about basically empowerment, the phenomenon, a lot of stuff I learned from Rabbi Ingber, and also the masculine. So in terms of devotional phenomenology, I learned this from Rabbi Ingber. He's from Romamu, Manhattan. Daylight faith is revealed. There's a solid truth. And nighttime faith is hidden. It's like an elusive truth. God wants us to see clearly. He gives nightlight, glimpses of the truth, blinded by temptations and desires, aka the ego quick fixes. When we believe Adonai, right, our master, righteousness and merit is accounted. Prophetic humility is not the same thing as this gift that's epistemological. The vision is a gift, not the earned certainty. Seeing our own obstacles and concealments, trusting the promise and covenant, seeing the blockages to abundance within, never becoming smug in the knowing. We have demons like Durga, abundance, Lakshmi, Sarasvati, wisdom, growth. This is actually the yogi tradition. They have in order to get to growth, you go from your inner demons to abundance to wisdom. And they named it with as if the powers of each one is like a god. In Judaism, we have one God. We believe that which those inner black holes or places of magnetic sort of grabbing lead us to abundance, because from there we stop having constriction, and then we get our wisdom. So the Abraham-like faith, the trust, the cultural inheritance that despite the tests we have, we're believers, the children of believers, being in life, grateful for the clarity and the vision to see our fears and doubts, the light showing the elasticity versus the victimhood. Our heroes, as heroes, we break out and open and grow. This is the millionaire mindset. It's an abundance of trust and knowing that remembrance can hold something I owe you to be metabolized eventually. It's like a moment. I explored this with a few friends. I had a friend with a couple friends, Sprouti. It was like, what is generous, manly, natural, trustworthy, feisty, sweet, beautiful, kind, performative, and then turning this person into a child, flaky, obstinate, messy, into a partner, inspires, challenges, supportive, as a parent, tender, nurturing, gentle. So my unhappiness doesn't lie in that person. I can let myself even copy this person for the areas that I want. And thereby, I don't put a piece of myself outside. With Areeja, we were talking about how empowering ourselves and empowering others to empower others brings us and people closer to possibilities, seeing where all the ways we're being held back, examining where we give power away or don't believe in ourselves, learning about where we don't trust God. The compliance patterns are giving up truth to gain approval or avoid change. This is something I was reflecting on. And all of this is from 4 or 5 years ago. Freely offering advice and direction without being asked, having to feel needed to have relationship, using charm to convince others of my caring compassion, blaming, shaming others to emotionally exploit, refusing to cooperate, compromise, negotiate, adopting an attitude of indifference, helplessness, authority, or rage to manipulate outcomes, and pretending to agree to get what I want. So moving back for a second, there's two sides here. One is empowering myself and empowering others to empower others, bringing me and people closer to possibilities, seeing where all the ways I'm being held back, examining where I give my power and don't believe myself, and learning about where I don't trust God. This is self-relationship versus the other way. You're going to meet yourself through somebody else. You're giving up yourself in order to be yourself, which is obviously not true. Having to be needed, so needing someone to need us, or blaming, shaming so that they do what we want. Using charm to convince them, pretending to be more helpless or more indifferent. So clearly, as the highest practice is making space for the presence of God. I'll talk about in the two main areas for me is father and men. It's really one area, and also in terms of God. So from Rabbi David Ingber, we learn about Tisha B'Av. It's the 9th of Av. It happened a while ago in the Jewish calendar. We go to the lunar calendar. It's August. It's August time, I believe. Yeah. So God is like a bear or a lion in ambush in the bush. Spark of Messiah is born in the dark. So fierceness comes from extracting light from the hidden places. Then Eitz Tov is a good advice. Eitz means tree. There's a sleepy mind, which is analysis, narrative, dreams, stories. The physical world of the body, object of focus, awareness are like weeds. So as we combat these discursive thoughts with positive and holy thoughts, and go to learn and be, also they say 1 out of 60, there's a 60th. So we have one negative thought, we can now focus for 60 minutes on the positive. sort of dilutes it or actually takes that energy and uses it for something else. We can go to learn and be busy with something that makes it impossible for those thoughts. We can remember the day of death, and we can scream out Shema. I'll say Shema now. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'yahavta es Adonai Elohecha v'chal labav v'chal nafshecha v'chal miyadecha v'yod v'rema eila asher anaychim tzav v'chayom. Ala v'vecha v'shinatem levenecha v'dibarta bam v'sheftecha v'veisecha v'lachtecha v'derecha v'shach v'chal v'kshetam li'yosaidecha v'yod taita v'es b'neinecha v'kseftam amzuz v'eisecha v'visharecha. And there's this affirmation of the God unity. Wherever I go, you are. Breathing in and out divinity. We can use the emancipation, the trait of divinity. Hineni, here I am. In the presence of love, God already is here. My recognition manifests it. There's an original face, like what we're looking at. Thoughts are not logged into the codependent immersive fate that will wash away when our heart is in the great presence. It's little gods, they fall away. Truly yearning for a taste is what can help us to stop yearning for anything beyond or outside us. When we use positivity to fill, changing conditions, staying wet, not drying up, surrendering to God, finding a way in to find a way out. And deep pain is when we hold on to a plank in an ocean that broke our boat, the ocean that broke the boat. And we're holding on to something, right? Unskillful habit patterns and mind states are walking with us like we're a visitor, a guest, living being in the heart, staying, contending, uprooting. A vital force. This is the shadow that follows, and we refuse or we reject. It's a way to be mindful when the demons show up on the screen as a way to not go down the slippery slope. We can let these just be thoughts. They flow in and out, and once it's in, it can get hooked and surround. So we can surround it with light, and it's good to evict it out, swaddled like a baby, like disallow it from staying or rooting or colonizing. Right? Giving the heart's existence credit to God is replacing the divine as the only and all. At all moments, as a fixture and permanence, embedded, ingraining residence, choosing to invite God can remove us from the grip of distortion and unnourishing and destructive thoughts and attachments, where we have baseless love, which heals the baseless hate, as an inner temple that can never be destroyed if we don't let there be spiritual parasites that come in to the ignored places, a chance for deeper healing and protection, establishment of God inside the dwelling place. In terms of my father or men, this is where I was about 4 or 5 years ago. He showed me how to avoid and evade tattletale snitches. He bribed my sister to tell on me. He taught me how to not be a go-between as a gossip or poke in nosily. Wanted me to pray and say Shema Shabbat, pray on Shabbos and say Shema nightly. He tried to get me to let go of attachments and avoidances to food. Like he didn't, I was able to twist everything to the positive. Some of the things I thought were abuse. He respected his emotional availability limits by seeing how independent I was and did his best with what he knew and he had. That's we all, right? Prepared me for people not giving me my way and trained me to be useful and accommodating, instilling values of learning, problem solving, teaching me to accept not being chosen or favorite. He trusted the process and my resourcefulness, and he couldn't see me when he couldn't see himself. He trusted I'd be looked after by the universe, by God, by the higher power. He felt being locked in the bathroom was better damage control than being punished with direct violence. When he locked me in rooms, could have been him preventing me from getting hurt by him if he didn't trust himself. And he constantly having to deal with my pushy, insecure, controlling mother is, thinking of in general, men who want to be rescued but not letting them do anything, provide for me, protect me, and yet I wanted someone to love me enough to sacrifice sex, like a brother, because I had one sister. My brother had sisters. There was one when I was growing up, and he was much older and not around. So I had no proper male role model around, especially after my parents got divorced. My father grew up with Rivki, Tavla, and Semahach, both with mental illness and disease. Although my aunt has made so much progress, and I think she officially had a nervous breakdown many years ago. The other aunt had schizophrenia. One passed, and the other one, her husband, passed. So, and his father was choosing the community. He had another brother who passed away from head cancer, and another brother in Israel who was far away and had an eye problem. And he had to learn so early that no one in the world loved him, and he had to care only about his own self. His brother had brain cancer, like I said, and his other brother went away. And so, thinking of these men, I wanted someone to love me without wanting to have sex with me, like Binyamin, Naftali, Sean, Owen, Adam, Vadim, Sprouti. These are just names. Was looking, for the energy. I had to be with a man who I was feeling I couldn't be alone. I used an object to break my own virginity so he wouldn't know I was a virgin, and then I was with him. And my father shamed me for my wetness in childhood. Like, he made me wear an alarm device in my underwear at the ages I should have been allowed to learn about my body, including genitalia, including accidents or triggers. So I always felt either like repulsive or sexy, feeling tolerated or desired. I didn't really know so much how to be with someone. And that's why I wanted a husband. I said, if I die, I just want a husband before I die. They want to be chosen the best, meet my needs to earn sex. This is like a man. And I wanted to not have sex to be earning. I wanted it so badly to be with someone who I loved. I wanted to give myself. So my father, just not chronologically speaking, I had visions of violations in childhood by the redheaded crazy man in a dream or something. I don't know who he was. I felt like he came into my room and no one ever believed me. And my father didn't take it seriously. So inside of all of this, I feel like the main theme here is really like empowerment and the masculine, and feeling invaded, complying, invasion and compliance versus like self-empowerment. So be well, have a good one, bye.